Hey guys, David Baer here with another episode of DIY Digital. Welcome, and I also want to welcome our guest today, Monica Ramos. And Monica and I know each other from the 22 Social world. You may be watching this inside 22 Social for all I know. 22 Social are the really super cool apps that we put on our fan pages for our businesses to do lots of things. We'll probably even get into that in our discussion today. But I discovered Monica because I saw her in our private groups and lots of people referring to training that she's done and help that she's provided in guiding her clients and other folks in our 22 Social community through the process of marketing on Facebook. But here's the catch. While I focus on paid marketing on Facebook, Monica's expertise is actually in organic marketing, meaning spending the time to develop relationships on Facebook and then leveraging those relationships in very creative and hopefully profitable ways. So Monica, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. Appreciate it.
So I wanted to sort of get a little bit of a sense of your background, because I know that as I hear the types of things that you have focused on in the conversations that we've taken part in together, you talk about direct sales, but you also talk about things like promoting books and those sorts of things. So can you just give us a little bit of background on your journey of where you came from and how you got to become such an expert in this area?
Sure. Yeah. So I actually I built my first website in 2000. You know, the old days of how you built a website before social media and all that. So I was always fascinated with the online world, and in 2007 I started a really small kind of business consulting services type business. I helped people set up websites, design logos. I did a lot of graphic work, but also, how to start a business plan and all the technical side of, how to get one of those, 800 fax numbers and things like that. All these little things that you could do, kind of like VA services as well. So I got really into that. And then things really changed when around the same time that I got into social media, there was MySpace and there's Facebook and all these other accounts. I had also joined the direct selling industry. I kind of dabbled in that and I did really well. I did so well that I ended up quitting my full-time job, which I was working for the government at the time. I made a lot of money doing that. I ended up quitting that to run my business full-time. And a lot of my clients from my former business, or it still was my business, were looking more to do more of the social media stuff. They wanted blogs, they wanted Facebook business pages, they wanted to learn how to do that. So I was working with them still, but I was also teaching my team in my direct selling company how to use that for their business. Then other teams from other companies were hearing about me and they wanted to learn. So I started just teaching it. And that's really where that took off. And I took my success and my experience using social media to grow my business organically and started teaching that to others. And now that's what I do full time. I do business coaching and consulting one-on-one. I also do digital courses. And, I have about 3 or 4 times a year, I do a free webinar where I announce, 2 different types of techniques. But basically, it's all about how to do business online through social media and how to do it not just organically, but ethically and not spending too much money. Because believe it or not, there is a way to get visible on Facebook without spending ads. If you don't have the money, but you have the time, there's a lot of ways to do that. So I help people with that.
So, and I said that's really the major difference between our approaches, and it's probably something that I need to do better as well. So I'm thrilled to have a chance to sort of hear some of this from you. You said something just now, which I think probably got some attention from some of our viewers, and it's if you have the time. And so I wonder if you can sort of talk through the high level of what sort of time investment really is required to have success in developing an audience, developing a following when it comes to social media?
Well, if you know the tricks, and this is what I teach my clients, you can actually do it in very little time. I spend about maybe 5 to 10 max 10 minutes a day on Facebook, increasing my reach organically. There are little things you could do. And if you just focus on those things, you can spend very little time and not get distracted by everything else that will build. But in order to get to that system of, 5 to 10 minutes a day on Facebook to build your following and increase your bottom line, you have to do certain things to set that up. And that's where the time comes in. So little things like using friends lists to organize your connections on Facebook, setting up your business page appropriately so that you are getting the best from either Google Juice or just organic reach within Facebook. There's little things you can do that don't cost money that you need to go in and implement. And once all those are implemented and you have a system going, you can spend just a few minutes a day playing with those things, and you'll start to see results right away. And so there's a bit of a time investment in the beginning and the setup. You have to spend a little bit of time to get everything in order and have your Facebook personal profile and business page set up the right way in order to optimize for business reach, but also protecting your personal side and the privacy. And then it's just kind of, you got a rhythm going, and it really works well. And then what people find is they do so well following these tricks and these systems that I've set up and I help them go through, that the income starts to come in. Then now they're like, okay, now I can afford ads. So then they'd go to somebody like you, and they can learn how the best way to monetize their business using ads and optimize those ads the correct way. So I kind of tell people, look, if you have a little to no budget for ad spending, but you want to get visible on social media, particularly Facebook, which is what I specialize in, then I will help you do that. And the point being, you want to get to a point where you have the income now, you're getting the revenue, you're starting to see sales, clients, or whatever that bottom line is for you, that now you can afford to pay for ads. So I'm not against ads. I think ads are really great. I just help people get to that point where they can now afford the ads and then do them smart, the smart way.
Sure, and I think you're absolutely right. Ads are actually not the solution to everything, and there's a lot of stuff that it really doesn't make sense to be spending the money on because it doesn't seem natural to have that little promoted up in the corner of certain types of posts. So right. The types of businesses that you think benefit the most from your approach, I'm guessing it could be just about anybody.
Yeah, it could. I specialize mainly in small businesses, either people just starting out, home business owners, solopreneurs. I don't like to teach things that I have to go read about so I can teach you. I like to teach things I've been through myself. I know how to do because I've done it and I'm passionate about. So I'm your solopreneur. I work from home. I also have a family. I've got 3 children. I've got a very supportive husband, but I work primarily from home, and this is my business and I put everything into it. So I work with a lot of people. The reason a lot of my clients come from network marketing and direct sales is because that's the space I came from. I kind of graduated from that into this business coaching and consulting. But I work a lot also with coaches, authors, especially first-time authors trying to get their book published, coaches in the health space, health and wellness, a lot of also like holistic practices. So basically a lot of people who are, they're not big brick and mortars, they're not franchises, they're just people working from home trying to build their business. And they don't have a lot of money to invest, or they don't have a team, they don't have a whole social media team that's running their business. They need to learn how to do it themselves so that they can get to the point where they can now afford those teams and the help and grow, which is the goal for all of us anyway. But we got to start somewhere, right?
Yep, indeed. I have this sort of conversation with a lot of coaches and solo entrepreneurs about the idea of using Facebook to drive traffic or bring attention or create authority for their business. And one of the very first things that they start asking is, well, what am I supposed to post? I don't know what to say. And it sounds like that's sort of a really, obvious question for them to be asking, but they often don't have an obvious answer. Is that an area that you help with?
Yes, and that's a really good question. So that it really comes back to the bottom line is, because Facebook has this algorithm and it's going to determine based on all kinds of factors, over 100,000 different determinants go into what you see when you go on Facebook organically and also promoted in sponsored posts. Sure. So this algorithm is based, it's always going to be catered towards the user. It's not going to be catered to us business owners, the marketers. Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg and all these guys, they want the users to be happy. People go on Facebook people go on the internet for two reasons mainly: to find out how to do something. They want information. They want to get educated. And number two, they want to be entertained. They just want to have fun. So it's not about structure. It's more like funny videos do really well. So entertainment, education, those are the two reasons people go online. You throw in social media and there's a third factor. They want to be entertained, they want to be educated, or they want to socialize. They want to hang out with their friends and family, see what people are doing, and just be social. So they're not coming on Facebook to buy from you. They're not like, oh, who's going to sell to me? What can I buy today? Who's going to market to me? They don't want to see that. They don't care. So Facebook's going to cater to that. They're going to show people more of what they like, what they share, who they interact with, the types of posts they watch. So everybody's news feed is different depending on their own behavior, as well as settings. So a person can go in and set up their settings to show them what they want to see, and I teach people how to do that. And you can also set it up to only show certain things to certain people by setting up different friends lists and things like that. So when you are getting ready to post something as a business, you have to think, you got to put yourself in the user's shoes. As a user, what do I want to see on Facebook? When I see something that I like and stop and look at it, is it because it's a video and it caught my eye? Because it's a video about a particular subject? Is it a quote image? Is it because it came from a certain person and I respect that person's post, so I'm going to look at that? Where am I liking and commenting and sharing the most? And where am I ignoring or, God forbid, hitting that hide button where, I don't want to see posts from this person anymore? People do that. So you have to think, if I post this, ask yourself, is this going to be liked, shared, and commented on? Or is it going to be hidden or reported as spam or ignored? Or are people going to see it and then unlike my page or unfriend me because of it? And so that's a difficult thing to gauge, but it's basically, there's that whole, oh my goodness, Facebook changed the algorithm again. What are we going to do? Now they say do this. Now they say do that. The bottom line is always the same. They're changing it because it's based on user feedback, what they want. If the users don't like Facebook, then Facebook goes away and everybody loses. So the bottom line is always the same. So don't get caught up in what works and what doesn't. Think about, as a user, what you'd like to experience when you go online, and provide that for your people. Be a resource, be a place of value, give people.
One thing that you do that I rarely hear is the importance of, now that you know how to do all of these things, how do you actually position it to bring income into your business?
Right.
And it is so valuable that you include that in your course, plus all the graphic stuff and all the other stuff that's just adding great value on top of what people might come across in a less than effective course. So I'm so thrilled to be able to give our viewers the opportunity to discover you, and to then find out how you make money off of all this stuff, which is what we're all trying to do.
And if I understand correctly, you've got a link here below that people can go check it out. When they go there, there is a little PDF slideshow that you can tab through, slide deck you can go through, swipe through it, and it'll kind of go through everything I went through, but all the points that I cover and all the modules and everything that's included. So yeah, I think it's important. You're right. There are a lot of people out there teaching this, but then what? Then what do you do with it? So I don't focus on likes. I don't think likes is important. I think my page is just now coming up on about the 2,000 mark. And this is the new business page I just launched just over a year ago. It's been about 13 months. But I did all that organically. I've never paid. I run ads for my clients. I know how to do them. I'm certified in Facebook ads, but I set out to build my following and build my business without ads, so that I can say that I did it, and here's how you do it, that it is possible. So, but I have that number of fans, but that's a small comparison to the number of people that are on my list that have found me through Facebook. They may not become a fan, they may not like my page, and that doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is they've opted into my programs, they're buying my stuff, they're booking calls with me, they're on my email newsletter. And so that's what I teach you how to do once you get there. So it doesn't matter that you have 10,000 fans. If none of them are engaged and none of them are spending money with you, what's the point? So you've got to turn that into income.
Valuable point there, because numbers may impress somebody, but if you're not getting the engagement, not getting the interaction with them, doesn't matter at all. So
yeah, Facebook's I'd say Facebook's the relationship building and lead generation tool. It's not the sales tool. That often happens offline or in an email or on a phone call. So people think, I'm not making money on Facebook. The money comes later. Use Facebook to build that audience and get that lead generation. And then there are ways to do it outside of Facebook, and that's really the whole system.
That's probably the most important tip out there of all of the great nuggets that you've given us today. It's all about relationship building. It's all about developing, that authority so that you can then, get them to open up their wallet after you've established that relationship on Facebook. So Monica, your comment earlier, you're correct. There's a link somewhere above, below. I don't know where it is in this video. I don't know where the video is ending up, but people can go over and click on that link, learn more about the course, and dive on in and get things up and running for themselves on Facebook with their business pages, and not having to spend money except on 22 Social. And you can do it right through Monica's affiliate link there too. So thank you so much for spending some time with us today. I think this has been tremendously valuable, and I appreciate it.
Oh, yes, and I appreciate it. Anytime you want to have me on, let me know.
Fantastic. All right, well, we're headed out for another week, and we will see you all back here at DIY Digital next time. So thanks for joining us. Bye-bye.